So, aren't you afraid that we're going to post this video and Tom Abatay will see it?
I want Tom Abatay to see it because I want him to see it. I'm not holding on to it, but it would do my heart good for him to see this. And Stephen Marcus besides. No, Stephen Marcus, I apologize to.
What if Tom Abatay's wife saw this?
What if Stephen Marcus's wife saw this? I hope Tom Abatay's wife sees it and knows that he was fucking prostitutes and paying $250 an hour to do it while she was at home. Well, I don't know what she was doing at home. They have a kid. That's how I met him. I met him because his kid and my kid played soccer together. My kid was better.
So we post this, Tom Abatay suddenly sees it and he gives you a call and says cease and desist.
Cease and desist, and I'd say, take me to court, you fucker.
What if he does?
That'd be great. I'd love to be in court with Tom Abatay again.
He might sue you for everything you own.
That wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be a problem if he sued me for everything I own. Because everything I own is the $100,000 I gave him. That was my life savings. I wasn't. I was thinking I was going to get more and more and more.
Is it maybe worth the $100,000 to learn the lesson?
It's an expensive lesson. But that's all I'm left with.
But don't you think you maybe achieved a bit more in life than other people lost $100,000? So it was almost a blessing that you lost that money. Because you're that much closer to the money. Or would you just rather have the lesson?
Sometimes a gesture is worth 1,000,000 words.
What year did you do that?
The bankruptcy was like 2 or 3 years ago. He did that.
When did you actually give it?
Oh, I gave it to him like 12 years ago.
So about 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
That's right. That would be what it's like S&P 500.
Oh, do not take me there.
Just throw an Apple stock 12 years ago. How much do you think it's worth?
I'm going to take a deep breath because I got used to a $100,000 lesson. You're now talking about $1 million lesson.
You could have picked any.
I got $1 million lesson from Tom Abatay. That's if I put it in Apple stock, if only.
UPS.
If only.
Walmart. Anything. But
Exxon. I could have put it in Exxon Mobil.
But instead of putting
I could have put it in Keystone XL.
But instead of that, you bent over and Tom Abatay put it in you.
Yuck. Yuck. We're going to take that down.
That's what happened.
We're going to take that down. There are many Tom Abatays in America. America is being run by Tom Abatays and Chris Christie.
Chris Christie doing the best he can. He had a little issue. He was concerned about the traffic on that bridge. He decided
to move the cones. He decided to move the cones.
He decided to put
and he moved them.
Orange cone in the state on that bridge.
He did. He did. And now there's a second bridge thing that he did some shenanigans. Let's just call them shenanigans because he's probably Irish. Chris Christie had a lapectomy. A fat operation. Laparotomy, laparectomy, laparoscopy.
He had part of his stomach removed and
yes.
they replaced it with
yeah. baseball glove. Catcher's mitt. Yeah. But we weren't talking about him.
I'm talking about your
Friend.
Well, if you invest $100,000.
Thin air. Thin air is not what it used to be.
But he gave you $100,000 worth of your air.
Of lessons. $100,000 worth of lessons he gave me.
Actually, Tom Abatay is responsible for 2 inches closer to the plate. He said,
I should. But I won't. Because I hate his guts. Truth be told, I'm going to let it go, but I hate his fucking guts. I wouldn't say that if I was more mature, but I'm not.
Are you going to say that?
Forgive him. Fuck him. What? Been there, done that. Uh-oh. What's happening out there? Nothing? I hear the birds singing. Tom Abatay is not singing, though. He's driving around in his Volvo. Working for the government, probably, still.
Making a big, fat government.
$77,000 he's making.
Don't forget to double overtime.
$77,000 he's making.
He probably got
Hanscom Field he's working, someplace there.
Free vacation last
Probably go. Oh, it's hard to think about Tom Abatay. Your negative teachers are people who it's pretty hard to. I think you need some drugs if you're gonna think about your negative teachers too much, because Tom Abatay is like a quaalude. He's like a spiritual quaalude for me. Whenever I think of him, it brings me down.
So then, are you actually going to post this?
Absolutely, I'm going to post it because I hope, I'm going to imagine Tom Abatay watching it.
With his family.
With his family, with his wife in particular, who's finding out for the first time that he fucked prostitutes. Not that I would say that. I would just repeat what he told me. Far be it from me to make anything of it. It's not my problem. That's what I always thought. It's not my problem. He and his wife, he didn't like his wife. He used to talk about her and whine and moan about her. And she used to spend his money according to him and buy all kinds of things that he thought were unnecessary.
Do you think that
Chinese? She was Chinese.
Do you think Tom Abatay's wife would have considered the prostitutes Tom Abatay bought necessary?
I think it would have been like Elliot Spitzer and his wife. There would have been a lot of explaining to do in a very public way. Client 9. Tom Abatay was client 8.5. Client 8.5 was Tom Abatay.
Last interview has there been any new developments with Tom's case?
Yeah, Tom went bankrupt.
Okay.
Fucker went bankrupt. And then I saw him like 6 months later. I had to go to court, spend $300 to drag him into court and get an agreement to even pay the small claim, because in the small claims court that you so kindly accompanied me to, in that small claims court, I actually won $2,000, which wasn't anywhere near.
Well, it won it, but did you actually ever get that money?
That's what I'm saying. He then stopped. He paid once,
okay,
and then he stopped paying. Then I had to spend $300 to get the constable to drag him into court. And all the judge did was make him agree to pay me every month. He paid me 1 month, and then he declared for bankruptcy, which wiped out my $100,000 fucking dollars.
Oh.
And
That
then,
was completely, you think it was a complete tactical move just to...
well, it wasn't about me. He had other debts.
Oh, okay.
But it was great. He could wrap me into it.
So do you take pleasure in knowing that you helped?
I would like to kill him. I am enlightened, but I'll really know I'm enlightened when I stop wanting to kill Tom Abatay. And I still have fantasies because I saw him. I eat scones. The only way I support myself is I do executive coaching. And one of the people I executive coach is at a scone place in Newton, West Newton. Beautiful place, lovely place. We walk, I forget the name of it or else I'd give them a little plug because I like their scones and they're nice enough people. But be that as it may, I once saw Tom Abatay there.
Okay.
He was ordering coffee when we came in, and I just happened to nudge him, so he spilled his coffee on his like white shirt because he's like working for the government now, like at the Defense Department, and making like $77,000 a year, and he wouldn't pay me a fucking dime. And he's still driving a Volvo because when you go bankrupt, you can hold on to your Volvo.
Okay.
Oh!
So when you nudged him, you mean like you purposely bumped his arm to spill?
I did. It was I apologize. I apologize to the gods that be because it wasn't like my highest act.
Uh-huh.
It was not a moment. I'm an enlightened person, but that was not a moment of enlightenment. And I have moments like that. It's like intermittent enlightenment.
Uh-huh.
But I do the best I can. I circle around the stupa, and I said, when I did that, I apologized. I apologized, and I said, as if I hadn't noticed who it was, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can I pay?" Because I knew it was like money pay. Can I pay for having your shirt laundered? And then, Tom Abatay.
And by now, everyone else is
yes. Oh, yeah. Like all the people in the place are like looking at me, looking at him, and he's pissed. He's shocked. He doesn't know what to say. He's kind of tongue-tied, and he looks at me. You know those kind of looks when you look someone in the eye, and you see that if there was a sword involved, it would cut right through you. He doesn't say a word. He didn't say a word. He just looked at me in the eye and started like getting like, you know how people get, and then he just walked out.
And was this before or after you were doing your executive coaching?
I was meeting my guy there, and my guy had just arrived. So I didn't want to overtly create a difficulty. But afterwards, when he'd left and, the coffee got, cleaned up, I cleaned up the coffee and I apologized. Well, he and I go for a walk around. There's a park we go around. And when we went around the park, I told him the story of Tom Abatay, and he was like peeing in his pants. He was like rolling laughing because you're with someone who screws up like that. He was like he'd been like a little embarrassed because he was with me, and I kind of made this faux pas. But he was laughing his head off, which was lucky because without that job, my life, like, I am downwardly mobile, but that would have been like, that would have been the end if I'd lost that job. So, but fortunately, I trusted in my storytelling to make it, because that's the thing about executive coaching is that when I do it, it's all about telling the whole thing as a funny story. And so I do that with him. So he was kind of primed. I mean, I knew he'd find it funny. And he did. And so I didn't get any money, but I started off to tell you, I still have dreams about putting sugar in Tom Abatay's gas tank, sneaking up.
You want to put sugar in this Volvo?
Yes. I mean, these are not my most enlightened moments, I hasten to add. There are other moments when I just go, oh, and Tom Abatay is like anatta, anicca, and dukkha all put together. He's like nothing. He's not. It wasn't personal. I mean, what he did wasn't about me. I mean, and that's the thing about kind of business people. And he was always. Ultimately, it wasn't about having a personal relationship. I mean, it wasn't like he was screwing me personally. I happened to be available and a sucker, so he did it. And that's the learning, is that at some point you have to let that go. Both my own cooperation in, turning over. If you turn over, you shouldn't be too surprised about what then happens when you're working with someone like Tom Abatay. Mm-hmm. He was kind of, I think of him now as my sort of dildo. He that was a teaching, and sometimes you have to really get fucked. You have to get really fucked. And he really fucked me up the ass. He did. I'm not laughing. I don't want you to laugh either, Brian, because this is not funny. This was my life savings.
But the dildo metaphor is quite comical, honestly.
The guy was a drone. He was a drone dildo. Tom Abatay used to go to prostitutes. When we were talking, I'd buy him lunch every once in a while because I wanted to keep him giving me my money back. This was over 10 years. I'd buy him lunch and he'd tell me about these prostitutes he was fucking. I mean, he's married and he has one kid. I met him because my kid and his kid played soccer together. Mm. But you can erase that part about him fucking prostitutes in case his wife sees this. It would really hurt my feelings if his wife ever heard that Tom Abatay was fucking prostitutes and eating lunch at Whole Foods and telling me they were better than his wife. But I would not want that to get out. So you should really make sure that this, you have a password and another password. In order to hear this shit, you should need 7 levels of passwords. HerbiePerlman.com. That's where it'll be. That's where it'll be. Tom Abatay, prostitute fucker. Hey, but let's do a Om, because I'm sensing that my enlightenment is being dragged down by some other darker part of me. Okay. Are you sensing that too?
I wouldn't have phrased it that way, but I'm sensing that you're in conflict with your enlightened side and your darker side.
There's no conflict. There is no fucking conflict.
There's harmony.
I have almost no rage left in me. Almost no fucking rage at all.
So
what can I say?
You want to do an Om?
Om. Tom Abatay. Tom Abatay owes me $100,000 plus interest.
What's the interest rate?
The interest rate was 15%. But he didn't pay. Or he paid for a while, but then he didn't pay.
So, what are they going to do about it?
Well,
Beat a dead horse.
that's the thing. That's the point, is someone cheats you like that. And you let yourself be cheated. I let myself be cheated. I have circled around the stupa long enough to know that I let him cheat me. He cheated me. Tom Abatay works for the government. Used to buy and sell houses. Cheated me. I took him to small claims court and won. Then he went bankrupt. Tom Abatay, the bankrupt. And then I saw him in a Volvo. That really pissed me off. I saw him in Newton in a Volvo. And you know what else? Tom Abatay, I would not say this if I didn't want his wife to see it, but Tom Abatay, we used to meet together for years and years. He used to tell me about the prostitutes he was going to. He was paying money. Tom Abatay was not a nice man. But he was my man for a while. And he used to pay for sex. Or he said he did. I am not casting aspersions. I'm just telling you what he's told me. I don't know. I was not there. I was never in the room. He never took me with him, but he used to talk about it pretty regularly. And, you know, from what he said, he used to pay like $250 for a night.
An hour or a night?
I don't know what. Well, maybe.
Do you think you needed the whole hour? Let's just assume you didn't.
I'm not like that. I'm bigger than that. I'm
So to
bigger
speak.
than that.
So to speak.
I am absolutely Viagram.
We've already heard this.
Tom Abatay, we have not heard this story. This is the first time, and I want to know that Tom Abatay is out there. He's probably buying and selling houses, even though he's bankrupt. He went bankrupt, but he still drives a Volvo. How does that happen? I don't drive a Volvo. I'll give him my bicycle. He should. And he got me into buying shares in an underwater logging firm. I invested in EVRE. EVRE.
What's EVRE?
Well, they had this whole plan in like Michigan and Wisconsin, one of the Great Lakes. There was a whole like lumber trade. And they used to like send them down the St. Lawrence River. A certain number of them would sink to the bottom of the river. Now, at the bottom of the river, there's very low oxygen in some of those places. And some people who he knew started a company that retrieved this like virgin timber, because if there's no oxygen, the wood doesn't, whatever happens didn't happen. And it's cold down there. So if you retrieve the logs, there's some really like primeval timber.
Really?
Yes.
So
Timeless timber. Timeless timber. I lost all my money. Tom Abatay suggested it, and I invested.
He suggested you invested.
She suggested I invested. And anyone who has any proposals, just send them to the channel. You can see what a good businessman I am. But I lost, I don't
Does
even...
it hurt you to think about
to think about it.
that money could have been a nest egg?
That money could have been, but I don't have it.
You know what? You're going to die poor.
Tom Abatay is too. his wife is going to see this video and she's going to say, Tom, were you screwing prostitutes? And he's going to either lie or not lie. And I'm not going to be the one to predict because he and I are no longer talking. So,
Call and say hi.
I have given him a call.
Invite him in tennis or something.
I have given him a call.
Okay.
Told him what I thought about him. But never mind, you set yourself up. That's what I've learned 50 years later, is you set yourself up for your own experience. Sometimes you don't know you're doing it, but that's what you do. As soon as I handed him that money, crossed my mind that he might cheat me, and it took a long time, but he did cheat me. And I let him. I was thinking I was going to make some money.
Everyone makes mistakes.
There's a lot you've got to let go. If you're going to be enlightened, there's a lot you got to let go.
This is a good lesson.
It's like I'm still in the river, the Zen monk carrying Tom Abatay on my back across the stream. Today, right here, I'm committing. This video is my commitment to put Tom Abatay down. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to think of him as one of my negative teachers. In your life, if you're one of the 36 each have several, usually, negative teachers. Tom Abatay's one. Missy Vineyard, I'll tell you about Missy Vineyard. Pussy. But never mind, not this video. That's a whole other video. Missy Vineyard.
They're talking about Tom.
Well, I think I'm going to let it go. I'm going to try. See, it's a little harder with him than Bobby Neerman.
He's a bad guy.
Because he has $100,000 of my fucking money.
Well, the money's gone, isn't it?
The money is gone. You are right about
He doesn't
that.
actually have it. It's like no one has it.
Right.
What actually physically happened? Like, what did he do with the money?
Well, he. Good question. I have no idea.
Well, here's a stupid question, but how do you know he actually lost it?
I don't.
He could have it in his mattress.
He could have it in his mattress. That's absolute. He probably does have it in his fucking mattress, and he's probably fucking someone who is not his wife right now on my fucking money, and I have to let it go. How can I do that? How can I let it go? I cannot let this go. He might have my $100,000 in ones under his bed. 100,000 ones. And probably some old ones, too, that are probably worth a little more than $1.
He'll let it go.
Or maybe he has it rolled up in pennies. He could have it in 1955 S double stripe pennies. And Stephen Marcus, who I traded for his 1955 double strike S penny in uncirculated condition, I traded him for a 1798 English coin.
You still have
You know, I think I might have I found the penny, but I had stored it in the wrong.
you lost.
Yeah. I lost. Stephen Marcus. And I cheated him. I apologize. Stephen Marcus, if you're out there, I apologize. I looked up the 1798, I think it was a farthing coin or a shilling coin or a penny. What was the penny? Shekel? Shekel. It could have been a shekel.
Is it English shekel?
It was an English shekel. It was a shtikala. It was a shtickler. It was a shtickler. And it was much less valuable than the 1955 S double strike. If I hadn't known the value, I would have felt better about it. I felt like I was cheating him when I made the exchange, and I was. I was that kind of person. Because of that, I met Tom Abatay. Stephen Marcus, I'm sorry. I'm glad. This does my heart good. If this is my last day, if I get hit on my bicycle today, I'm glad I apologize to Stephen Marcus.
But you're not going to apologize.
Fuck Tom Abatay. That's all I can say about Tom Abatay. Fuck him. Not that I'm holding on to it.
No, it's...
Because I do not hold on to things. I just want you to know I do not hold on to things.